Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching right around the world. It's the 53rd season in RaceOnOz Gran Turismo history, and the 8th season on Gran Turismo 7. This is Australia's longest running Gran Turismo league, and we are in the 2016 Porsche 911 GT3 RS road car. And fun fact, it's the first road car season since November 2021 on GT Sport, when they were in the BMW M3s. And Viper says, "Hey Trev, how are you going tonight? Good to hear from you, Viper, the man who has a lot to do behind the scenes, organising this wonderful series. Like I said, the longest running Australian Gran Turismo league. And Beaky, my old mate from Coringal, joining us. It wouldn't be a Sunday night stream without the great Beaky joining us. Hope you've had a fantastic weekend, and it's good to be back for myself as well for RaceOnOz. Big shout out, like I said, to Viper for all the behind the scenes work that you do, mate, and hope you're enjoying some well-earned time away as we take a look at Rain of Fire here on your screen, just ahead of Speedy Snoopy AU, and they're heading down towards the Degner Fangnia curves. Just getting some audio issues sorted here, ladies and gentlemen, but you do join us for qualifying. And Rain of Fire, special mention to Rain of Fire, of course, who messaged me throughout the week, and he just a bit of a heads up that he's running some special decals on his livery tonight to commemorate the life of his partner's Nana, who passed away Friday night. So there you can see the special decals there on the car. And thinking of you, Rain of Fire, tonight, and your partner and family, of course. And there we have it. So Rain of Fire. But let's get to the serious business of qualifying, because you join us for qualifying here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's round 2 of the championship from Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, and this will be a 1-hour race. And there's the man who dominated round 1 of this championship with a 15-second victory over Noodles, who we don't have Noodles tonight. We're missing a few Mint Matt, Viper as well, Captain Risky, and Ranger Oz, Jimmy Payload as well. I think a few of the boys, of course, are up at the big one at Mount Panorama up at Bathurst there, so that does explain the absences tonight. But still, we're going to have a fantastic race here. I'm thinking this will be my last time for a while. Love you, Trev, says Beaky. Well, that's starting off on a bit of a sad note there, Beaky. But let's just have a look here at Distinct Andrew. He's currently on provisional pole position with a 2-minute 26.449. And my goodness me, that's 1.3 seconds quicker than this man, Lane Everingham, currently 1.3 further back. Then it's Speedy Snoopy AU, and then everyone's favourite Kiwi, Nemo Nation, in the beautiful Purple Winds livery, as Ricardo has joined us all the way from the Netherlands in Holland over there, and the Dutch joining us here tonight. Good morning, brother. Good morning, brother. And that's how they like to talk over there. But great to see you, Ricardo. Great to see Viper and Beaky amongst it. And thanks, Legend, says Viper. Can't wait to see what the boys get up to tonight. Like I said, Andrew dominated round 1 of the championship, but tonight sees us here at Spa-Francorchamps. And for a 1-hour race, 1 pit stop is predicted tonight, as Ridwan improving there on that sector. And Lane is one of our reserves this season. A stellar effort to be up there in P2. Let's talk about this man. Like we said, a few guys missing tonight, but that's not stopping this man from making the most of his opportunities. And that's what you need to do. He's got an opportunity here tonight to mix it with the Division 1 boys. And he's making the most of it there. But boy, Distinct Andrew is well and truly on another level here tonight. But let us know where you're watching from. Ricardo out there with the VIP. He's coming in there strong. Oh, and somebody went off in the background there. And in a big way, that's Distinct Andrew. Just doing a little 360 work there with the Monster Energy livery on his car. This is the man who dominated round one, and he is back to do more of the same here in round two. RaceOnOz member since 2021, and you can see he's currently Australia's fastest GT7 driver. He's a member of Distinct Esports, multiple champion. And, well, what he hasn't done isn't worth mentioning, ladies and gentlemen, but the 2011 Super 2 livery by Viper, the Andrew Thompson 2011 Super 2 livery by the great man Viper himself, who is watching here tonight, and like I said, he is enjoying a well-earned break. But that is the end of qualifying, and very short, sharp session there, just the 10 minutes. And there we have it. We're going to have a look at the results then. Distinct Andrew, 2:26.449, and he's on pole position by 1.3 seconds. 1.5 back to Nemo Nation, the great man Nemo, who's jumped into the chat. Beautiful work there from Nemo. Then it's Speedy Snoopy, Rid 1 in 5th, Rain of Fire in 6th, of course, thinking of you. Yes! And Mizadel is now following on a Sunday night. Where else would you want to be? I say it each and every week. But then Rain of Fire, Groover in 7th. And then it's Adzer 85 in 8th. And we go across the page. John O'Clint in 9th. Saturn 9 in 10th, rounding out your top 10. And Dynamite TNT. Oi! 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 Dynamite! And he's in 11th there. You know how it goes. But qualifying finish, please.
Suck my balls, mate.
They're really good. And it could be the first ever podium for some lads tonight. Great chance to grab some silver, where we said you've got to make the most of your opportunities in this business. Hit the inside wall at turn 1 of my final lap, says Nemo. And it is up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me, as the late, great Ron Barassi would say. And please, 3 minutes, please. That's okay. We'll just get into the chat here. And we're just going to let us... no, I won't do that while I'm trying to talk. But we'll give it a couple of minutes. Yes! And happy sub day, Rain of Fire. Like we said, we did give a special mention to your livery tonight, thinking of your partner and your nana, of course, like I said, who passed away on Friday. Big hugs out there for you and sending the love. And 3 minutes, says Distinct Andrew. We don't want to start without our man on pole position. Good to go. And we are going to get ready to go racing. It's 8:15 almost Eastern time. And we're going to get going in about 20 seconds or so. Happy sub day, Rain of Fire. Sub for 10 months. He's given birth to his first child. And that is fantastic stuff. We are going to be almost ready to go here, ladies and gentlemen. I think we are ready to go. We're going to give it a couple of seconds. And then we're going to be good to go racing here in round 2 of this championship. RaceOnOz. Season number 53. How good is it in RaceOnOz Gran Turismo history? 8th season on this game. We are going now, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. The race will begin shortly. Everybody is ready to go. Andrew in pole position. The new boy in P2. Nemo Nation in P3 there, and the followers coming in there. Big shout out to Mizadel for following. And there are the drivers. We are going to get the race information up, of course. False starts will be penalised. Please make sure to keep your foot on the brake until the race starts. Great advice. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Go, go, go for round 2 of season 53 in RaceOnOz Gran Turismo history. Here under leaden skies here at Spa-Francorchamps. A great chance for a lot of these guys to get onto the podium for the first time in Division 1. And it's Distinct Andrew, no surprises there, leading on the opening lap. It looks like everyone's got away cleanly through Eau Rouge for the first time. Slippery conditions. Distinct Andrew leads, then it's Nemo up into P2. Everybody's trying to find Nemo at the moment here. Down Kemmel Straight for the first time. Treacherous conditions. The new boy losing a place off the start line, but he's still done very, very well. P2 for him in qualifying. Then it's Speedy Snoopy slotting in 4th in that very lemony looking, lemon coloured yellow livery there. Oh, they're all tight bumper to bumper here. Ridwan there in 5th. Rain of Fire down there in 6th. Looking for a good result here this evening. And then it's Adzer 85 down there in 7th. Groover getting his groove on in 8th. John O'Clint in 9th. You can see there. And then it's Dynamite, TNT and Saturn now doing battle here on a very wet track here at Spa-Francorchamps. But 1 hour this race here tonight. 24 laps, whatever comes first. Great to have your company with us, ladies and gentlemen. Please let us know where you're watching from and we'll give you a shout out. We've got half a dozen or so people here tonight on a Sunday night, and that's not bad with the Bathurst 12-hour race happening, of course, this weekend as well. As we see them come through to complete lap 1 there. Ridwan right in the thick of it there in the midfield. Rain of Fire putting pressure on him all the time here. And these beautiful road cars, the 911 GT3 RS 991 from 2016. First time in a long time we've had road cars in this championship. Snoopy running a bit wide there. And that's not where you want to be, let me tell you, in these conditions. As they all stream through, we'll go back to the front. It is Distinct Andrew leading by 0.8 of a second here at the moment. Oh, Nemo having a bit of a moment there, but managing to keep it all pointing in the right direction. As we come up towards the bus stop, turns 18, 19 to complete the lap. It used to be called the bus stop many, many years ago. Now it's just called the chicane. That's a little bit boring here, but through to complete lap 1. It's a 2:35 for the opening lap there for Distinct Andrew. 1.5 seconds is the gap now. And like we said at the top of our show, he dominated round 1, winning in Barcelona de Catalunya, Circuito de Catalunya by 15 seconds, and now he's dominating here, but Nemo keeping him honest. Zoom, 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 through Eau Rouge once again, Radion, and then towards the Kemmel straight here on lap 2. One of the longest circuits that we go to in this championship, of course. And now Ridwan is lining up Lane Everingham here to have a crack at him. Let's see if it's going to work on this occasion. Let's ride on board, and Ridwan's got the job done. And how good are these camera angles, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, inside the car. And we're getting a little bumper action there. We'll go back to the broadcast camera. We'll keep going through the field. Rain of Fire now, very nicely done there, slotting into 5th. And then it's Groover, who's worked his way up the field there. Beautiful looking livery there for Groover. And a shout out to the great man Viper, of course, as well, for providing us with the magnificent cheat sheet there. Groover, he's been a RaceOnOz member since January 2013. Longest serving member on the GT Div 1 grid. And of course, he was Rouge GT6 Season 3 Division 3 champion. And I bet you couldn't have got through the rest of your Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon without knowing those juicy statistics. But it is lap 2 of this race, and we're looking at a one-stop race being predicted here. And you can see these conditions are clearing up, and you can't see as much standing water across this circuit. But it's a very long track, of course, 6 and a bit kilometres long, and it can be raining on one part of the circuit, but not the other. And it can be raining at Malmedy or Lacombe, and it might be bone dry at La Source at turn 1. So it's a bit of a mixed bag of dim sims, if you don't mind. And Groover there getting his groove on once again. But it's starting to settle here. Speedy Snoopy, who recently added me on the PlayStation Network, became close friends. And how good is that? So Snoopy there in 7th. John O'Clint in P8. Adzer in 9th. Dynamite. Oi, oi, TNT. And Groover shows how to drive a pickup. He certainly does. Ricardo sending the love from the Netherlands. The land where beer is cheap. Apparently it should be cheap. Ricardo doesn't know what the bloody hell I'm talking about. Like we said, we'll get back to our race leader. And only 11 drivers here with us tonight. Of course, a few are missing, and that is because of other commitments. Banana Josh also couldn't make it. Viper, Captain Risky, Noodles, Mitmat, Jimmy Payload, Ranger also. We are missing a few, but some reserves have stepped up. And boy, they're making the most of it. And Lane has got up into P2, and Nemo, who was in P2, seems to have made a mistake here, and now he's down to P4. So disaster for Finding Nemo, but he's still 2.4 seconds ahead of this pack, which includes Snoopy, Rain of Fire and Groover, showing us all how to drive that Porsche 911. If you don't mind, look how close this midfield battle is, ladies and gentlemen. Long, long way to go here in this race, and an absolute pleasure to be bringing this to you here now. And please let us know in the chat where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. Jono getting a little bit out of shape through there. But Groover now, Jono there in 8th, Adza in 9th. Dynamite now a couple of seconds further back in that cat livery. Absolutely loving that. And a bit of Bumblebee colours about that, but beautiful helmet to match in the 296 for Dynamite. He's TNT Dynamite. And then it's your Sat at 9. And you can see him in 11th there. And he's bringing up the rear of the field. It's Distinct Andrew with a 2 minutes 29, 118 dominating here. But you can still see on the track map in the right-hand corner of your screen that the field is very, very close. And some of the reserves, Ridwan, of course, is a reserve. He's inside the top 3. Speedy Tyres, he's also a reserve, along with BK11, smashing Apex Lane, Everington, and he's doing very nicely indeed. We'll get back to the front. There is our man who dominated round 1, and now he's doing the same here in round 2. The quickest GT7 driver in the country, and we've got him right here, ladies and gentlemen. How good is that? Currently the fastest GT7 driver, Distinct Esports member, multi-time OCE Nations Cup champion, and of course 2021 online world finalist. And this man has more wins and more podiums and more championships than I've had hot dinners, and he is continuing to dominate here as he goes down Kemmel Straight once again, heading to Les Combes. And we started off with a very damp track here, and it wasn't quite pissing down rain, but it was very close to it. And now the sun is beginning to shine here, and you can see riding on board with Distinct Andrew. I know there's some other battles happening throughout the field. We'll get to those in just a few moments, but let's just watch this master at work here. And you can see how he does it. And inside the cockpit with this man, and out of it again, Lane Everingham, the sub, the super sub, and Ridwan, the 2 subs going at it, the 2 reserves. I shouldn't call them subs, because these 2 currently in the top podium positions there. You can see 2nd and 3rd, and having a great old ding-dong. We might ride on board with this man, Ridwan. And you can see currently in P3, Nemo was inside the top 3. But he must have run into some trouble or something, because he's now down in P4, about a second and a half or so behind this battle for P2. So Distinct Andrew, well, he might have checked out at the front, but still nothing is going to get in his way, going to break his style. Nobody's going to slow him down. Oh no, he's got to keep on winning. And that's the first and last time I'm going to sing here tonight, as we take a look at this man, who's pretty handy with a cricket ball as well, and he's gone a little bit deep there into the bus stop chicane, out into the start-finish straight, and you can see there, and look at the, he's racked up 123 kilometres in this car as he gets up to 4th gear, tick over 200 kilometres an hour here, down to 2nd gear. And continuing, you can see he's dropped a little bit further back there from 2nd and 3rd as that sun is breaking through here. Look at this bonnet style up through Eau Rouge, almost getting it wrong there, but manages to keep it together. And he's on his merry way. Zoom! I'm sure that's what it sounds like over there in New Zealand at the moment. They'll all be rooting. They'll be rooting over there for this man. And rooting is not quite the term that we should be using here, folks. It's 8:30, almost 8:30 Eastern time here in the great state of Victoria in Australia. And this is Australia. Check it out. And Nemo in fourth there. Speedy Snoopy and Snoop Dogg. And there he is in fifth place. And I have to admit, this game looks the goods. And that's coming through PS Remote Play 2, Ricardo. Loving these cameras, loving the broadcast style here of tonight, of course. I did have to do some shuffling around of the overlays and whatnot. This is the usual overlay, Ricardo, which you might be familiar with. But of course, when we do that, it sort of takes away from the Gran Turismo 7 experience. He says, this game looks good. Thank you, Ricardo, for letting us know that. I'm sure it's cheap somewhere on the PlayStation Store if you wanted to pick it up. But let's get back to the racing. 227.153 for Distinct Andrew. And that is very quick indeed as the track dries out. It's almost bone dry here now. And you can see that the sun is out. The track temperatures are increasing. And Ricardo saying, if only I had a PlayStation, and maybe if you're out there watching, we can start some sort of fundraiser. I say it to everyone. We might be able to pass the hat around or pass the church collection plate around and get you, we might be able to whip something together and put it into however many euros you need for a PS5. Let us know and we'll see what we can do as we're going to take a look at Mr. Groove in P6. Across the line there, slightly quicker on that lap from Jono Clint. That's a difficult name to say quickly, isn't it, without getting into some strife and getting up to some sort of mischief. But Sunday night racing here in the longest championship, the longest Gran Turismo 7 championship. You can see here the 53rd season in RaceOnOz Gran Turismo 7 history. Gran Turismo 7, 8th season on Gran Turismo 7, I should say, the longest running Gran Turismo league. And what is this, says Dollar Katie, who's watching without audio. That is very strange. And if you're watching without audio, that's no good. That's no good. Watch, I'm going to just reply to this because it's the nice thing to do. Watch it with audio. Will be much more of an immersive experience. Or maybe you don't want to listen to my voice. And maybe you don't want to listen to my voice. Anyway, if she hasn't, he or she or it has not listened to my voice, how would you know you didn't like it? You might like it. But Dynamite TNT, see you lurking there. Please consider following the stream. We'd love to have you as part of the community. And let me just click my little counter here to see what we've got. 307 followers there. And let's have a look at this. Oh, look at you complain about GT7. And there's Rain of Fire. We're going to give Rain of Fire some airtime. Boy, Jason Wilkinson in the house. And you can see there, Rain of Fire. We've been talking about it all evening. He's running a special livery for his partner's grandmother who passed away on Friday night. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, Rain of Fire, and your family here tonight. Gas. Brake.
Okay, now more gas.
Gas.
Left, go on the right.
And that's pretty good advice here around Spa. Nice cars though. The great man not liking GT7. He's never really liked GT7. And he also let me know on Thursday night that he has uninstalled. He hasn't moved F123 across to a external hard drive. He's absolutely deleted that. And that was really the final nail in our F1 co-op season coffin. And thoughts with you, Rain. Get some points. Yep, he was running 5th there a short time ago to you, Jason. But he's 10th at the moment. We're predicting one stop here tonight. And big shout out to Viper for providing a fair bit of info there. And we hope you're out there enjoying your break. Well-deserved break there. Ricardo says to Jason Wilkinson, that's what I was thinking at first, but seeing it now has changed my mind, to be fair. And we're probably not seeing the game visually in all its glory, of course, because this is through, we are streaming through remote play. So we're kind of relying on our internet connections and so on as we take a look at Saturn 9. And people just messaging here. And you can see there Chuck Norris, and who's jump in, Chuck, if you're out there. If you're out there, he wasn't quite sure whether he'd be available tonight. My sidekick, my usual trusty sidekick, but he hasn't been that trustworthy the last couple of weeks. But it'd be great, Chuck, if you're out there. And please, Wilco, flick him a message. I can't quite get to my messages at the moment as we take a look at Saturn in this beautiful pink livery here this evening. And are you riding solo tonight, Trev? Yep, I'm on my lonesome here this evening. I'm so lonely, I can talking to myself. And sorry, Mr. Trevor, I'm cooking dinner at the moment. Please forgive me. And hello to you, Chuck. And there we have it. And the man who's got a bearskin rug in his lounge room. And fun fact, the bear is not actually dead. It's just too scared to say anything. And there we have. There we have Wilco. I could jump on, but I'd throw shade at GT7. But there we go. We don't need you to throw any shade at all, Wilco. But look at this. Distinct Andrew, one of the fastest, if not the fastest guys on Gran Turismo 7. He's gone even quicker at 2:26.193. He is really going to town on this field tonight. You can see he set that on lap 6 at 2:26.1. And he's been very consistent in the 26s and 27s. For the most part in the opening dozen or so laps. And there is the man, the myth, the legend himself. V is for Voodoo alive, but that gap 9.4 seconds. Hello. And Ridwan now in P2, keeping in mind that Ridwan is a reserve. He's a weekend warrior, of course. So if we lose everybody else, that we get the reserves that step up onto the front line and join us in the trenches. Ridwan in second, and Lane Everingham also a super sub. So it's great to see these guys in P2 and P3 here tonight, and they're on for potentially for their first podium. They are reserves, of course. And lest we forget. And you can see there P2 and P3. Then it's Nemo, this man who is putting all sorts of pressure on them here at the moment. The man with the best bowling figures of 7 for 15 for the Auckland third 11D grade side. And you can see there he's in P4 at the moment. Watched the first few hours, then passed out, woke up and it was finished. I think, of course, I was going to mention that we are a few short tonight. Only 11 drivers with us, hence the reserves coming along to the Division 1 race tonight. And a lot of the guys up at the Bathurst 12-hour race in Mount Panorama. And hopefully they can tune in. Let us know if you're watching out there as we see the Kiwi Nemo Nation. He's negotiating the bus stop there. We might continue to ride on board with him, and we might go through the field. Snoopy is about 4 seconds behind Nemo, but comfortably inside the top 5. And then it's Groover and Groover Nation. Bit faster than his Janetta GT4. He'll be driving in the Bathurst 8 hours, says Wilco. Andrew, that is. And Wilco getting amongst it there, doing good, although the Bathurst 12 hours was a joke, says Ricardo. 15 server restarts in about 4 hours. Ooh, and that is not the ideal line to be taking through there. But now Groover has a run on Speedy Snoopy, and Snoop Doggy Dog will be under pressure here down the Kemmel Straight. I reckon he's got that move done. He has. And he goes up into P5 as a result. Beautiful move there from Groover, and that is one of very few on-track passes we've seen. You can see Groover there in the 28s, very consistent there. He's been in the 28s every lap since lap 4 of this one. We're approaching half race distance, which will be lap 12, of course, unless my maths are failing me. But 15 server restarts in about 4 hours, says Ricardo, so he bailed on that. Good thing you joined our esports team, mate, says Ricardo. And referring to the great Chuck Norris, who said that he's joined QRT, the esports team. We saw him in the Bathurst 24 hours as well. And you can see, was that the CRF one? And I thought you meant in real life, the one that happened today. And Ricardo saying, your driver of the day for me is Groover. He showed massive car control, and he certainly has done very nicely there. He's holding a second on Snoop Dogg, who he passed at the start of this lap down Camel Straight. And Chuck Norris chipping in, saying that is kind of wild though. Hopefully 0 server restarts next weekend, but we might keep going through the field. Get your comments coming in. We would love to hear from you, ladies and gentlemen. I said I wouldn't go with ladies and gentlemen because you might be out there and some other gender, and you might even have a hidden agenda somewhere to yourself. But it's Sunday night. This is Race on Oz, Gran Turismo 7, 53 seasons down. And unfortunately, due to other commitments, I couldn't get to season 52, but I was around for a bit of season 51, and it's a magnificent series here. Longest in the history of humans. Oh, Jono has gone bang into the wall there. Didn't quite see how that happened. He must have just got a bit of power down too early, coming out of turn 1 at La Source there. And is that damaged? I don't think we have damage on this game, do we? Unless it's cosmetic, but you can see that's going to cost him big time here. And there we go, riding on board. Very boring kind of overalls there, but they're sort of your stock standard Puma numbers that you get gifted in this game, of course. But there we have it. Nice livery, the number 95 for him. As we get a bit of a disturbance there in the audio. But 8 people with us on a Sunday night. Absolute pleasure to have you all joining us, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see there, Jono, 10th for Saturn 9. Rain of Fire is... we might ride on board with Rain of Fire, this man, of course. And we might get a decent look at that livery there. You can see Sending Nanny Love. And, of course, we've mentioned it a couple of times tonight, but big shout-out to Rain of Fire as well, who has come in with the sub as well. So big shout-out to you, Rain of Fire, and thinking of you and your family, of course, at this very difficult time. Our thoughts and prayers with you and your partner and family, extended family, here tonight. But you are on lap 10. Out of 24 here tonight. He's in P11, the great man. He must have made a slight mistake somewhere because he's 40 seconds off of the Saturn 9 rocket in P10 there. And we'll go from the back to the front. We're going to see where it's at. Jono there, still 6 seconds ahead of Saturn, despite that mistake coming out of La Source. And this game looks good though. Looking forward to Le Mans Ultimate in a few short days too. Hopefully that looks half as good. And we've got Adza. We've got some pit stop action here with Adza. One stop was predicted for this race, of course. If you are just joining us, big hello to you. Round 2 of the championship. And didn't quite catch round 1. But how good is the Le Mans Ultimate game going to be? And is it PC only, Chuck? And is it PC? I think it is PC only. Is it in early access, or can we get it? Because I'm a bit of a whore for the Le Mans sort of stuff. And we're using the normal layout here tonight. We're not using the 24-hour layout. There's all sorts of bells and whistles going off at this point in time. But into the pits Getting the fuel on board. Super soft tyres, of course. The red mark soft tyres are all we have, I believe, here for this one. Back on board with Adza now. He comes out. Comes out on Feb 20th, of course. Le Mans, the ultimate game. PC only at the moment. And I'd love to see what tracks are involved, Chuck, because that game does look good. And correct me if I'm wrong. I was wrong once, but I was mistaken, Chuck. But just looking at the game and the menus, it's got a Project Cars 2 feel to it, and that game was absolutely mega. Diamond Ricardo saying he's a bit sceptical about Le Mans Ultimate, as it's basically R Factor 2. Don't go knocking R Factor 2. Get onto some of those Community Workshop Steam mods. But this man is taking the mickey here at the moment, because Distinct Andrew, he won by 15 seconds in round 1, and boy, he's going to win by roughly the same margin, if not more, here this evening. He's on lap 11. He's got the quickest lap there. You can see on the right-hand corner of your screen, very consistent. The 226.1, 226.5 last time around, 3 tenths down on 3 and a bit tenths down on his best time. But I've got to say that he's still showing good pace, as he always does. One of the quickest guys on GT7, also handy on ACC.
Get in my sack! Get in it!
Oh, get in my sack! Get in it! And my wife, Mrs. B, will be thinking, what on earth is he talking about there? And he's yelling out, get in my sack, to a bunch of men over the PlayStation playing Gran Turismo 7. Very strange indeed, as Chuck has fired back. He says Rensport is basically someone else's code of memory 2, just to throw that one under the bus too. And there we go. And off. Rather, I should say. But Chuck Norris, thank you for joining us. And boy, time waits for no man except for Chuck Norris, and he's joined us in the chat here tonight. Let us know how those chicken tenders are going. But you can see Distinct Andrew as we've approached half the race distance. Half the race gone and half still to go. And keep redeeming your sound effects, ladies and gentlemen. We want to see something in the next half of this one. But Ridwan now in P2, and boy, oh boy, he's got nearly 4 seconds on this man, Lane Everingham now. So, we're not quite sure whether this man, Lane, that is a beautiful red on that Porsche 911. It's a beautiful looking scarlet red, isn't it? And that is very nice indeed. And I might get it even in that colour when I pick up my Porsche 911. Someday, hopefully I can make a living out of this commentary business, and I'll be down there picking up that Porsche. But let us know, that is a beautiful red. And then it's a Snoop Doggy Dog, and he's in P4 there at the moment. Groover, he has come in for plenty of love tonight. Groover, he's up on his personal best here in the second sector. You can see his quickest lap at 227.8 on lap 9. And he's 27 seconds off of the lead, the all-conquering Distinct Andrew. And Groover was Ricardo's early pick for driver of the day. And Ridwan is now coming into the pits along with Lane Everingham. So the 2 reserves who are on for a podium finish here tonight have joined us. I think we've lost Nemo as well, and we've got pit stop action aplenty here at half race distance. You can see Ridwan into the pits now, using the regular GP layout of this circuit. We're not using the 24-hour layout, as Ridwan is into the pits. You can see soft tyres going on that car, only soft tyres, the super softs. Is that a KRL logo I see? Always good to see the KRL logo on the livery as well, that's awesome. And that is our logo there as well. Out of the pits for Ridwan, Lane Everingham out as well, in that sexually seductive red livery. Nemo, we haven't lost Nemo. Because is he on our timing sheets? That is very strange. No, Nemo is up into second, and look at this battle. Nemo there and Ridwan having an almighty tussle here. We're going to jump inside the cockpit of Ridwan's car. He's on fresh tyres. He needs to get those tyre temperatures up to speed, but look at this, down Kemmel Straight, heading up the hill towards Lakecombe, side by side. Is Nemo going to give anything at all? Nemo not giving him nothing. No quarts are given, look. And you can see Nemo and Ridwan and loving the KRL logo there in the back part of the windshield there. Great stuff. The number 9 for Nemo Nation and Ridwan as well. Boy, these two have come out almightily close. And let's have a look at Ridwan. He's got the Satellite Racing livery. Viper, of course, loving these liveries, of course. And Viper is the man behind all of this hard work. He's a 3-time Project One Esports GT champion and GR Cup Oceania 2021. And he's a Satellite Racing driver, second place in the Track Stars Bathurst 1000 in 2023 with Viper, and also first place in GT3 Track Stars Le Mans, the 4-hour race there. And he's also a tennis fan, and boy, he'll be looking to go 40 love up here against Nemo. Not going to pretend I know too much about tennis. 15 love. And you can see there he's going to be deucing it out with Nemo, and Nemo is under pressure. We'll get back to that battle. Evering Lane, Everingham, of course. These boys have come into the pits. Our race leader is in the pits, and such is his lead that he's up at the front. Very lonely place to be indeed, but it won't worry him too much. And you can see there the battle continues there. P2, I said Nemo disappeared, but then he just magically reappeared again. He must have dropped off the timing sheets or something. You can see there that the battle continues. Ridwan now chasing him through Eau Rouge and Radion once again. Oh, Nemo, silly salmon action there up the top of the hill. On that occasion, lap 14 of this race, we're getting down to the business end. We're over half race distance here, and it is great to have your company on a Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, depending how far across the globe you are, whether you're watching in Europe like I know Ricardo is. Always a pleasure to bring this stream to you. Don't forget to consider following this stream. I can see you out there lurking. Like I said, consider following the stream. We'd love to have you as part of the community. How many have we got now? We're aiming for 310. We've currently got 307, and there's some pretty good numbers. We cracked the big 300 last week, and we're currently well and truly on the way to 350 followers on this Kid Buyers Twitch channel. And very circumspect there through the double gooch, or the gorsh. The double. Well, we christened it a long time ago as the double gooch, just in case one gooch isn't enough. But we've got to keep it as a family-friendly show. And you can see now that Ridwan is actually falling back from Nemo now. Not sure whether Nemo's come in and made a stop, but there is Lane Everingham. He can see how tantalisingly close that first ever RaceOnOz podium is here for season 53 of this championship. 7 rounds to go. Well, 6 rounds, 5 rounds to go. It's the final countdown. And there we go. I promised I wouldn't sing again. But you can see there it all kicked off at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya with Noshikan. And that was last time around. Andrew absolutely took the bacon home then. And then round 2 here for Spa. 24 laps, custom weather, early morning ×4 time progression. And then next week, this is going to be nice and juicy and spicy because we're at Grand Valley Highway 1 at Grand Valley. Custom weather, early morning, 8 times the time and all the other settings that no one probably really gives a stuff about. But that'll be round 3 of this championship. And then we head to Autopolis International Racing Circuit, Tokyo Expressway in round 5, Nürburgring in round 6, and the Autodromo de Interlagos in Sao Paulo in round 7. That's a retro round 2, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen. So, boy, mark this down in your calendars because it's going to get busy very, very shortly. We might go back to a bit of broadcast style with these camera angles. We might just recap for anyone just joining us. We've got half a dozen or so people with us here this evening, and great to have your company on a Sunday night. Let us know in the chat if you're out there and you can hear my gorgeous voice. Let us know in the chat what you got up to this weekend. But this man, Distinct Andrew, he won in Barcelona by 15 seconds, and now he's 20 seconds ahead of the field. He really is taking the piss a little bit, you'd have to say. But Nemo in second, still under pressure from Ridwan here. So lap 15, 9 laps to go until the end of this one. I was about to say get your comments coming in on who you think will win the race, but that's probably a fait accompli, as they say. But I tell you what, the battle here is still raging like wildfire on a hot, windy day, because the battle for P2 is not over yet between these two, Ridwan and Nemo. We've got Lane Everingham in 4th, and then it's Snoop Doggy Dog in 5th there. Groover, who was in P5, he's now in P6, having a very solid race here, our man Groover, and he continues to shine here in this one at Spa. And then here's another battle, because Adza, Dynamite, and Johnny Clint, don't try saying that one too fast. This battle continuing for 7th, 8th and 9th here. And we might ride on board now with John, who is in P9. He's got front row seats to this battle. And then Rain of Fire a little bit further back there as Nemo Nation is into the pits. The beautiful purple wins livery for Nemo Nation. And you're probably thinking, why on earth are we looking at him in the pits? Well, he's been a Race on Oz member since September 2018. The wins livery also by Viper. And he's a Ruse GT7 Season 3 Division 1B champion. Boy, for all you ladies out there, he is forklift certified. So that's right, he can move all sorts of things because he is forklift certified, ladies and gentlemen. And he's had his pit stop now. He's come out in 10th, right behind Rain of Fire now, and he's got some fresh rubber to boot, and currently on his outlap here. So let's ride on board with the great man Cameron Neame from New Zealand. Pretty handy with a cricket ball, and also forklift certified, we've learned as well. Big shout out to Viper for providing all of the information on these boys, including their favourite pair of underwear, what colour it is, their favourite food, whether or not they like long walks on the beach. But please keep your comments coming in. But lap 16 out of 24, we are going to ride on board with this man, and we're going to have a listen for the rest of this lap at this beautiful Porsche 911, and we are going to just let the car do the talking here for the rest of this lap. And my beautiful, gorgeous voice will be back in just a few moments. How good was that, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. We didn't, you didn't go anywhere, but I just went off to have a bit of a drinks break to clear the vocal cords as to get us ready for the run home here in this round 2 race at Spa-Francorchamps. 24 laps here of Gran Turismo 7. Season 8 of Gran Turismo 7 for RaceOnOz Division 1. We are in the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, the 991. And this car come off the showroom floor back in 2016. We've got BOP enabled. Tuning is prohibited. Not that it's worrying this man too much. Ridwan there in second. Lane Everingham in third. The tyres required for this championship are sports softs. And if you are new to this championship, it is a 10-minute qualifying session. Races usually start at 8:10 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time here on the eastern seaboard. A little bit earlier in South Australia, a lot earlier in Perth, way earlier in Europe, and a bit later in New Zealand and wherever you are in the many other parts of the world. And the endurance rounds actually are starting 30 minutes earlier as well. So that is fantastic stuff. And we do have the endurance round coming up next week, in fact. Round 3. In fact, no, I beg your pardon. It is round 4, the endurance round on March the 3rd. So that will be Sunday night, March the 3rd, an endurance round at Autopolis International Racing Course. And stay tuned, check your local guides. Remember when they used to say that on TV? Check your local guides for all the updated information. But what about this man then? What kind of races he had? Lane Everingham. He is one of the guys, one of the reserves who has got his opportunity here because of the fact that a lot of our beloved regulars for this championship, a lot of the usual Division 1 guys are not here, of course, because of other commitments. And don't forget the Bathurst 12 hours as well. And this has really given both Lane Everingham and Ridwan as well the opportunity for these guys to get not only a start in Division 1, of course Division 2 also runs simultaneously, of course, but we are streaming Division 1 here. The cream de la cream of the crop, de la cream, and on GT7. But a chance, like I said, I know I might waffle on a little bit, but a good, fantastic performance here from this man. He put it on P2 in qualifying, and he is well and truly, barring any sort of supernatural lag or some sort of natural disaster, he's going to be well and truly on course for a podium finish. And I know we were talking about Groover being the driver of the day. And Chuck Norris says, are you the cream of the crop or do you cream on the crop? Well, let me tell you, a little bit from column A and a little bit from column B, Chuck Norris. And let me tell you one thing, that when it's harvesting season, I'll be creaming all of the crops and letting the children know. Children of the corn, where was that going? Somebody rein me in, because I am flying solo tonight, and there is a very, very brave marshal standing at the foot of the entrance to Eau Rouge there. As let's take a look at Speedy Snoopy, who sent me a friend request on the PlayStation Network, and it's taking every fibre and every morsel of my human anatomy and DNA to not call him Snoop Doggy Dog, but that is disrespectful to dirt, like Mr. Spacula, of course, because his name is Speedy Snoopy, and then it's Groover, and Groove Armada here getting his groove on now, with P5 here, 2 point something or other seconds ahead of Adza, and that little sexy battle. That's a jazzy looking livery, isn't it? I love the bonnet on that car. It's kind of what I see when I start developing a migraine, those multicoloured little squiggly lines there. But great to see Adza there in P6. Dynamite! TNT! Oi! 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 And he's dynamite as well, and he'll need to be, because now this man, Nemo Nation, rocking the purple livery by Viper, the Winds livery. Nemo Nation is in P8, and he's like a shark in water looking for blood. Cue the Jaws music. Dun 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 dun. That's a shark victim there, but Nemo, who came, he made his pit stop late. Oh, that's not where you want to be. And you can see not much grip out there. But you can see there he's been very consistent with his lap times. He's got a personal best of a 2:27.301, I believe. And Distinct Andrew, wow, he's come in with a 2:25.836. And that is very, very quick indeed. It's a lot quicker than a lot of the other drivers are doing. But Chuck Norris out there in Twitch land. Look at this. Look at the accolades. Oh, Dynamite getting it all wrong there. Loving the yellow Caterpillar livery, but Dynamite getting it wrong. And we don't have a rear bumper cam, but that is going to let him in. I watched that movie on Netflix the other day. Scared the absolute crap out of me. Let me in. And an Aussie film, I believe, filmed in South Australia. But Nemo and Jono Clint are having a battle of their own here. Look at this, Nemo right up behind his Ginger as we head up Eau Rouge for the 21st time here. Oh, not sure what happened there. And maybe Nemo was just caught napping there. So Jono maybe just getting the jump on him there. I'm not sure whether Nemo was so focused on trying to get Dynamite ahead of him that he's let his guard down. As Dynamite, nobody seems to want 7th place at the moment. Look at that, Jono's through. And there's a few innocent bollards going missing there as well. And like MH370, but you can see, we'll get back to this camera there. And look at this, 7th, 8th, 9th, all together, bumper to bumper action here. As we ride on board with Nemo, who's got perfect position as part of this battle to see what's going on, look. And Dynamite runs a little bit wide, Nemo looking to sneak through. I don't know about you, but does anyone think that Nemo's livery reminds you of the old Pollywaffle packet? Anyway, that's showing my age a little bit. But now Jono, who was down in 9th, is now up to 7th, all in the space of not even a lap, really, when you watch it. And Jono's been the big winner out of this battle. And then Dynamite is now all up behind Nemo's business. Much easier to chase than to lead, as the late, great Murray Walker would say. And we are counting down the laps here. And you can see on the track map, just look at the advantage that Andrew's got there. He's well and truly almost halfway through this lap. And there is Saturn 9. Rounding out your top 10. And then it's this man, Rain of Fire, who set his quickest lap on lap 15. Ads is in the pits. That's interesting. So I wonder if Rain of Fire might be able to jump inside the top 10 here, depending how much fuel they put in Ads' car. As we jump to the pit lane camera here, let's have a look at Ads coming into the pits. So Ads stationary there, 8 seconds, 9 seconds. It'll feel like an eternity to him there as he comes out. Is Rain of Fire going to get by? I don't think he's going to make it. And sending our love to Rain of Fire and the family as well. His partner, of course, losing her grandmother. And we're thinking of you, Nana. That's for sure. We're thinking of you and the family. Rest in peace, Mabel. You can see they're running that livery. Special decals on the Gamesman livery for Rain of Fire. Thinking of your family. And got a special mention to you, of course. And beautiful looking livery there. We're thinking of Mabel, who'll be watching from upstairs, and very proud of what this man has been able to achieve here this evening. And you've got to say, he's one of the favourites on this Kit Buyers Twitch channel, and a big supporter of KRL and sim racing in general. You can see he runs the blue K, not quite the special K, but it's the blue K. It's special to us, and you can see him running that there. Adza comes out just ahead of him on some fresh rubber as well, so it'll be hard for Rain of Fire to sneak inside that top 10. He's currently running last in the field. Last but not least, you'll say, but Rain of Fire there, like we said, special mention to you and the family here this evening. As we go to our race leader, a man who's he's probably been a little bit bored out here at the front. It's a 31-second lead. 32, it's been growing by almost a second a lap, if not more. And boy, if you don't mind, his best lap was a 2:25.421 last time around. And let's take a look at the master at work here. He is one of the quicker guys, if not the quickest guy. I think he is actually the quickest guy on Gran Turismo 7. He dominated last week, of course, with a 15-second victory over 2-minute noodles. And he's going to double, more than double, that victory from the opening round, and he is dominating this season so far. Lap 22, coming up to the penultimate lap of this race. Tricky conditions to begin with here at Spa-Francorchamps, and tricky conditions indeed. Starting the race, of course, starting in wet conditions, and then it dried up fairly quickly. And now we have beautiful bright sunshine, and he's up on this lap by 2.5 tenths of a second. So I wonder if he can sneak into the 2-minute 24s. That will be, we're going to stick with this one. Currently that best time of a 2:25.421. And if you pulled off the disguise, I wonder whether it's Max Verstappen under there. Because he's really got no one left to race anymore, does he, this man? He's conquered all before him. And let's have a look at the time now. Across the line at what am I talking about? 2 minutes 25.047. Wow, so he's gone 2 minutes 25 flat. 2:25.047. As Ricardo, wow, boy, Ricardo there has drawn a line in the sand. He says, I'd love to take on this guy in ACC or iRacing. I think he's pretty handy at all of the above. As we take a look at Ridwan now. P2 for this man, one of the reserves, one of the weekend warriors in this race. One of the reserves along with Lane Everingham. And we don't want to look at the chat. We want to keep the heads-up display there. But what a performance from Ridwan and Lane Everingham. And a good chance, we said it at the top of our show, a good chance for some of the reserve drivers from Division 2 to make the leap to Division 1 here tonight in this Race on Oz. Season 53, Season 8 on Gran Turismo 7, Australia's longest running Gran Turismo League. And boy, oh boy, it's been a long night here, but I just almost slipped into the rust with thanks to Shannon's. This is Race on Oz. And boy, we predicted one pit stop for tonight. I think we might have had a couple of pit stops there. As first...
He's crying! He's crying!
And wow, think of the irony of our man Ricardo, all the way from the Netherlands, mate. Ricardo is redeeming the Ricardo laugh. It's like the stars have aligned on a Sunday evening or Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, I think, in Europe, European time. And you can see there he's redeemed his namesake, the Ricardo laugh. Great to have you along as well with Chuck Norris and the many other people who have tuned in here this evening. But it's all really about this man who is coming up to start his final lap here of this round 2 event here at Spa. Beautiful Spa, the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Slightly slower on that lap, but that doesn't really matter because he has dominated in every way, shape and form here this evening. Ridwan's still there as well. Lane Everingham. These two reserve boys are going to get a podium along with Snoop Doggy Dog in 4th there. He's pretty much in no man's land, Snoop. Still morning here, says Ricardo. Still, what time of the morning is it over there? How many euros will get me a case of Heineken? Because I've got to tell you now, I saw somebody do a travel vlog in Japan and they were selling 4 litres of whiskey for $30. Where here, 700 mils of whiskey's about 50. That's how much we get ripped off. But here's your man, Ricardo. Groove Nation there in P5. Nemo in P6. So he's got the job done on Jono. And he's also got the job done on Dynamite now. Still a good tussle here for 7th and 8th. Don't go off and dip your tea bag into your teapot and make a cup of tea just yet, because that battle's going to be intense. Saturn 9 in P9. And Adza there, 85, rounding out your top 10 with Rain of Fire as well. 11:15 a.m. at the moment. A 24-bottle case of Heineken cost about 28 euros. And all Rain of Fire outbreaking himself into the bus stop chicane. If somebody could convert the euros to Australian dollars, please let us know. But there's Rain of Fire. He's about a minute and a half off the lead. All the drivers will finish the race on the lead lap, of course. Rain of Fire, you never know. Stranger things have happened. He could end up inside the top 10 if Adza makes a mistake. As we join our race leader on the final tour here at Spa-Francorchamps. He's done everything he needed to do here this evening. He dominated round 1. He's been a RaceOnOz member since 2021. And boy, the Distinct Esports team man comes through the bus stop chicane for the final time. He dominated in Barcelona. He picked up the win by 15 seconds in round 1, and now it's going to be a thumping, comprehensive victory by 38 seconds. And just to really drive home the message that I am the quickest man, I am the master of this championship, and I have been the dominant one here this evening. He goes and sets the fastest lap on the last lap of the race. There's a little bit of Max Verstappen about him, isn't there? 225.020. We've almost cracked the 224s, which is absolutely insane, as Ridwan, the reserve, who got an opportunity here this evening to step up into the big time in Division 1. He takes P2 across the line here tonight. And what about this man, Lane Everingham, across the line for what I am led to believe is his first podium finish here in Division 1 tonight. The reserve stepping up in the absence of some of the big names as Snoop Dogg goes across the line. Groover and Nemo fighting it out to the end of the last corner, the last lap of this hour-long race. Your man, Ricardo, comes across the line to finish P5. Nemo in P6. He'll be a little bit annoyed with that. He took the late pit stop, of course. He was running inside the top 2. Jono across the line, just by less than a second ahead of Dynamite. And then we're waiting for Saturn 9. The Saturn 9 rocket blasts his way across the line into P9. Good job all round here as Adza comes across to finish P10. Good job. All these cars are very hard to manage. And Rain of Fire, who's got much more on his mind than racing tonight, but he comes across the line to take P11. But there we go. Victory for Andrew Lee tonight. Good job. Good stream. Good race as usual, Trev. Sorry I couldn't be there tonight. You're always with us, Chuck Norris. And we can't wait to get you back in the commentary box in the not-too-distant future. But there we go. There's our victory man. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Congratulations coming through in the chat. We'll take a look at the race results before we let you go here this evening. to enjoy your Sunday night, or indeed Sunday morning, of course, as we know Ricardo over there in Europe. It's still he's still got half of his weekend to go almost. As we recap the results, it was Distinct Andrew winning by a long, long way. Congratulations to him. Andrew Lee, otherwise known as Distinct Andrew, dominated round one like I've been saying all evening. And then he took a 38-second win over Ridwan F1, the reserve getting a podium finish here tonight. Beautiful drive from him. Lane Everingham in third. And like we said, the two reserves getting onto the podium. Fantastic effort. And I've run out of complimentary things to say about them, but Speedy Snoopy AU or Snoop Dogg in fourth, Groover in fifth. Ricardo liked his work. Very nicely done indeed. Nemo Nation, he had the late pit stop there, comes home in P6. Jono in P7. Dynamite, probably, one of my favourite liveries here in the field tonight. He's coming in to finish in eighth to round out the results tonight. Like we said, numbers slightly down because a few of the regulars here in this Division 1 season, of course, up at the mountain, Mount Panorama, for the 12 hours IRL race. And Saturn in ninth. Good little battle there with Adza and through the midfield and the latter part of the field. Rain of Fire finishing this evening in P11. And like we said, a great effort for him. And thinking of you and your family tonight, of course, Mabel, very much in our thoughts here on the channel and for RaceOnOz this season. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your results there for round 2 of this championship. And I don't have a calendar handy with me to pop up onto the screen, but next week, which will be round 3 of this championship. It'll be the 25th of February. It'll be the first race for this championship, of course. 7 rounds in total at Grand Valley Highway 1. And that will be great to have your company for that one. In the meantime, we might be also back as well with some ACC. And that could potentially be Wednesday or Thursday night. So just depending on some other commitments for myself. But here he is. The great man has entered the chat. Distinct Andrew. Classic Fujitsu series design working perfectly there. Doing good air conditioners as well. Viper coming in clutch again. Big shout out to Viper as well for providing us all of the info. Providing myself, I should say, for all of the information on this series. And doing all of the behind-the-scenes work. And we said it, we've been saying it all night, ladies and gentlemen. This is the longest-running Gran Turismo League in the country. And we've got the quickest man with us, Distinct Andrew, who's 2 from 2 and continues his perfect run of form to start this season with a dominant victory here at Spa tonight. And that is almost all we have time for, ladies and gentlemen, here on the stream tonight. But stick around next Sunday, because we'll be kicking off round 3 at Grand Valley Highway 1. Will Andrew make it a hat-trick? Will it be 3 from 3? Or can somebody else take the top spot next week? That's all we've got time for, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday wherever you're watching right around the world. Please be kind to one another, and we'll see you next time. But for now, it's goodbye.